Welcome back to another episode of AngelsBobs Plus, episode 20. Seems like just yesterday we started. Oh, not silicon. Yeah, it seems like just yesterday we started. I think that's right. Sorry. So between episodes, I got all the remaining components for our steel put together. I'm actually currently building it. In the last episode, we were kind of waiting around for brick to happen. We still are waiting on steel for this to finish working. We moved over power. That's kind of, I guess, the big thing from last episode is we got power kind of planned out for future expansion. And I think that's really all we did last episode. So let's go ahead and get right into this one. We do need a few more loaders, just in general, some other things. So let's go ahead and get those. Don't quite get everything. Well, you know, it's part of the fun. Now we also have a car that lets us go everywhere, so at least we can get around the base much quicker, but doing so also causes us to cause damage to things around the base, so that's an unfortunate side effect of mine, is causing damage randomly throughout the base, but oh well. Let's go head up over to Stone Land. So let's head over to 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna need one of you, so that should be enough. Let's go grab some more loaders. Hopefully some more have been made. I did just grab them, but there should be some, yeah. Yep. A lot of there will be power poles harmed in the making of this video. I can't say that there weren't any power poles harmed, but we have already killed 2 of them. I'm sure more power poles will inevitably lose their power pole lives. Let's go ahead and go like so. Oh, I don't actually need either of these. That should be one there, one there, one there, one there. That should be all of those. Let's go ahead and, well, not necessarily upgrade, but just make sure everything that needs to be of the right underground is. Oof, see, this is another scenario where we had the underground doing a thing, but unfortunately it can't now, so it causes us to have to redesign things a little bit. That's fine. So what we'll do is we'll actually go ahead and move this, right? So what we'll do is we'll do that into that. This is an instance of us having to actually redesign something. It's not that big of a deal. We can work around it. Pick up there. No, pick up there, drop there. Do that. And then same thing up here. And like so, like so, like so. Like yeah. Actually, I mean, I guess really it doesn't matter where the inserters are. So let's pick up here, drop here, like so, like so. Well, actually, power poles can't live there for several reasons. They can almost live there. We'll have to use mediums, I'm guessing, for most of this. Let's get some of those made. We need one more loader, but I'm sure it's probably made by now. Actually, we need several, I just realized. because we need several for these. Technically, we can use inserters, but they're slower. So let's go ahead and get this moved up. And do something like nope. Like so. Alright, so let's go into that. Alright, so some of that. Well, everything should be working. And then, so basically there's a lot of setup we have. And again, hopefully everything ends up working, because that'd be a shame if it didn't actually end up working. So let's go ahead and get some things turned, like so. Oh, we'll actually need more loaders as well. Yeah, we just need a lot of loaders. It does seem like quite a lot of loaders and machinery for not much actual steel, but compared to the current recipe we have to use of the smelting iron, it's an 8-to-1. This recipe, I believe, is much better than that. This produces 12. Yeah, so 6 gets produced 24. That melts down 12, so it looks like it's a 48 iron ingot into 12 steel ingot, which converts into 12 steel plates. So it's about half. It's a bit of an improvement, right? Because currently we're using 8 per iron plate. This will cut it down to only 4 per iron, or 4 iron plate to 1 steel bar. So it is a little bit cheaper. And then it's even a little bit more cheaper too if we want to factor in a few of our other like compressions, right? Because if we consider the fact that it's only 16 iron ore in for 24 iron bar, then we save a little bit there as well. So in a way, it's even cheaper than that. But and of course, we'll be able to improve that as we improve our iron side of things. To improve the steel side of things, although that's just gonna take some time. We'll see. We'll see as we get there. Let's go and get the floor stacks put down. This is to deal with the nitrogen that will get produced. So let's go ahead and see how much the system we can get installed. So now, based off of that, yes, it should be able to power everything. So something like that should be fine. And then obviously we're gonna have to just power. Something like that. Oh, we need some copper. Well, luckily we are right next to the copper. Cool. Everything should be powered. Oh yeah. I'm not sure. I think that probably was copper pipe. If I had to guess. This is gonna be molten steel. And then yeah, see, it was copper. We'll go to make a bunch of underground pipe for all of that. The system should almost be ready to test. So we're getting close, just not quite there. I guess while we're waiting on crafts, let's go ahead and get coal and iron pulled down. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So that's budgeted for gears, that's budgeted for normal iron, and this is budgeted for steel, I believe. Those 8. I'm not sure. So those 4 for that. These 2 and these 2 are for iron. 4 and 4, which leaves 2. Yeah, okay. So we'll actually take out those 2 metal ones then or something. So that leaves us with just enough for these 2, so yeah. I mean, right now it doesn't really matter. Should go about like there. Yeah, so let's try this all the way down. And this is the case where sometimes underground belts don't want to place good. This most definitely will not have enough throughput for this, but for now, it's get it working and we'll improve it later. We just need some steel flowing. So right now we have none. Let's get a handful of splitters made. Oh, we're out of actual belt. Okay, let's go grab some of that then. I will grab belt and yeah. This is gonna eat a lot of iron, huh? So right now that we're doing one belt per 2. So that's 2 belts just for one of those setups. I mean, technically we have enough lines for it. I lied. So I was assuming it was 2, 4, 6, 8, but in reality it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, so on, 14, 16 at the very bottom. And these are just coal lines that I'm getting stretched right now. Yeah. Like that, like that, like that, like that. we are having a route into the bottom. Yeah, that's a fair. Yeah, see, because then what's gonna happen is, I'm guessing these were auxiliary then for other things we needed. Okay. Well then what I'm gonna do is, yeah. See, because that won't work. Probably don't see it yet, but I'll try to show it here in a sec. So what we'll do is instead, it's gonna kind of be shitty, but a 1 to 4 splitter. Like, yes, it clearly will not be able to handle this much, because it's only 7.5 items per second per this belt. That's getting split. It's incredibly small. The pellet presses don't consume a whole lot. They consume 4 every 2 seconds, so altogether it's 16 every 2 seconds. Right? 4, yeah. 16 every 2 seconds. Which means this barely... Actually, no, that mathed out well, actually. Because if this is 7.5 items per second, times 2 is 15 items per second, so we're only actually net -1. So if we upgrade this to yellow belt, that'd be 30 items a second. Or, well, 30 items every 2 seconds. And so that would be more than sufficient to handle that system, so that actually works. The only issue is we obviously don't have a full iron belt, so this won't be functioning properly. But that is a bridge we will cross. Well, in theory, this can produce steel now, so... Alright, well, steel is technically being made and being put on the bus. Although in an incredibly slow fashion. Well, that's fine. Nope. Alright, there. Now engines can be made properly. So that's always good. Should be mostly good. So steel should now be reduced. That's input. That's these aren't being outputted. There's a problem. I'll just steal these then because they're not being used. There we go. I'm like, this should have already produced, but no, it's these 2 inner ones weren't inputting, but now they are. That's firing. Should fire the first 6. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. And now we have steel being made. Look at that, guys. Good job. Alright. So, now that we have steel being made, I guess let's see what's the next process we need to do in order to get closer to blue science. To get to blue science. Engine units, red circuits, and sulfur. Okay, well, we're about to get engine units. What do we need to get? Plastic transistors. Yeah, that's gonna be the next big one. This is gonna be the next big hurdle, is getting transistors and things set up. But once we get this, once we get blue science made, I'm not saying we're like golden, but the factory will be at a point that's worthwhile, which is good. But we'll definitely be very well along. But yeah, in order to get transistors, it's going to require a lot of production from us. Alright, so let's go ahead and get engines, and I think we're going to start working on a train network. Because we need ammonium and a few other resources that we don't currently have easy access to. So steel's going to start heading here, which is good. Again, I don't know where this one random underground yellow lives. It's living somewhere. And now there's a random... oh, whatever. Yeah, so we'll bring this down and then we'll work on that train setup. Engines are gonna live way down here in a land that is very far on the bus, purely because this section that I'm currently in is where all the different ore, or all the different smelting plates will live. Yes, it is wasteful, but in a way it really isn't, because like I've said previously, it doesn't matter where things go on the bus. So I guess I could spaghetti it in any order I want, but I choose this because this is the way I like it. Obviously, you can do whatever you like in your factory. So go like that. Cool, now engines are on the bus, technically. Alright, so to make trains, we need engine units, this, and steel. So pretty straightforward things. What do we need to make the other components for trains? Iron, okay. Well, if we get iron up here, then... And so, because this is something that isn't going to be outputting onto the bus, we're going to have inputs on the other side as well. Where are iron rods? They're there. Let's go ahead and do again more iron rods, and then I believe rail. So, electric circuits and engines. Actually, no, electric circuits and steel and engines are going to be on this one. So the only one that doesn't need to go all the way in. Oh wait, why did I have that twice? Oh, because this was meant to be that. And then that was supposed to be like that, and that. Okay. So that should be good. Chest, and then chest. So that should be everything we need for trains. Now let's go ahead and hook everything up. So engines, of course, need to be here. But in the case of I'm not going to spend all of that underground, we're just going to do that. In the case of grid circuits and steel, though, we will have to do those. So, we hit steel first, so that means steel is going on the left. Underground, and then we should be good, maybe. There we go, yep. Like so, like so, and all the way up and over, and then like that, all the way out, and then same thing on the green. Yes, we'll need it, underground, and pull basic circuits. Don't, actually, what are basic circuits still used for anymore? They're used in technically nothing else on the bus. We don't really need any of these things. I mean, unless we automate like electrolyzers and stuff, which I guess we might do somewhere, but realistically, we don't actually need to continue them on the bus, so we definitely aren't going to need 2 lanes of these. So I'm going to go ahead and actually cut this one. We'll put, I'll actually move green here. I always make that kind of mistake where it's like, you know, I might use it, but then I don't. So let's put them here. Put the red circuits on the next one over. So that should be pretty much everything. Steel, green circuits, then we need iron, and the center one, and stone on the outer one. Let's go down and grab iron, like so. Iron we will definitely need a bunch of. I don't even need to have a second set of 4, but we'll see. Stone will need to be on the bus because I already know we're going to need that for several items. I believe we're going to need it for electric furnaces, which are used in purple science. So although those recipes for the science packs aren't necessarily changed, the intermediate products to get to those science packs are most certainly changed. We don't currently have stone on the bus, but it will be. I'm just not sure where. It's just yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and damn, it almost fit all of them. Rail I'm okay with being uncapped. This, 2 stacks, this. You know, I found myself actually using more chains than regular recently. And then this I only need like 2. And then I don't know how high these stack to, so we'll just do 2 for now as well. We could add the cargo wagons. That is also another thing we could automate over here, but if we do, we'll just automate it at the top. What do they even need? Everything we have over here minus the gear wheels. Alright, you need that. If I have another inserter, maybe. I guess so. Okay. So, technically everything here is automated, just very slow. Alright, so while trains are getting made, let's go ahead and get stone for this guy, because I know he's not going to have any for a little bit. Nice. Oh, let's double check why wood is no longer working. What did we cut off? So I'm guessing we did something. I ran out of saw blades, yeah. Oh, yeah. They last almost forever, just not quite. There we go. That should give an outlet for the stone, so that this thing should never back up. At least, we can actually tear this little bootstrap of green circuit, or not green circuits, but the basic electronic components down, because we no longer are in need of those. Okay. So now the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is look at our map real fast and determine a few things. What are we doing over here? Oh good, we've almost mined all that. That is good. I mean, that's not going to be anywhere in our way now, but that's good. This stereotype might be. I know it seems kind of out of the way, but I'm sure it will become a problem sooner than we might think. Yeah, I mean, really we need trains. Trains are the next goal because we need to get ammonium for tin, because right now we have a trickle. That actually looks like it might have just ended, yeah. The trickle is no longer, we have no ammonium, so if we don't have any ammonium, we have no tin, which means no belt, which means, well, tin is the backbone for basic electronic components, the green circuits, which we don't have anymore, so what we have is what we have, and that's it. We can technically get tin from a couple other sources, but not until tier 2 refining, which is costly already. That would just require more tin. So we're gonna try to get some trains going, and just get some stuff planned out, I guess. So let's go bring what stone we have over for track, so we can start to get that planned out. We will also take a look at what blueprints for the trains I have. I have a few. Gotta see which ones I have, if any, for modded still. Oh, that's crafting. Let's go and look for rails. I have some railways that I have taken, but these are little tracks that we are not going to use. These are some of the bigger ones I've used before. Most of these are vanilla setups. That's vanilla. Let's see, do I have any of these modded ones? Yeah, that looks like a liquid. That looks like not anything I would use. Oh, hey, this one's actually from when I played with, out the ammo loader mod. Currently we don't have it installed because I wasn't playing at Death World, but this blueprint was from when I played at Death World, as you can see with the amount of sniper turrets and plasma turrets. Oh, that is fun. We'll have to do a Death World. Probably not in modded. Well, we might do modded, but we'll see. I don't know how the performance on that will go, because performance on this is already iffy. I've already seen a couple lag spikes, but we'll see. I'll have to tune a few things and see if I can get it dialed in better. Yeah, so these are some of the unloading stations. Very not efficient, but they exist. Let's see. Hey, there's the... Oh, is this the one we used? Yeah, see, this is before they changed something. Let's see. Okay, there's our greenhouse one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and this is actually the input that we use for storage, or have used for storage. The back button doesn't work. Damn. Let's see. Squirrely diagonal walls. Those are always fun. We'll probably just use this basic 4-lane, quite honestly, for planning. And then from there, use... Oh, what is it? We have used this one before. It includes a stacker for 2 additional trains, which... Honestly, we're probably not gonna have that many trains running at once with the stack sizes of things. But we'll see. Jeez, what was this for? This looks like a steel of some kind. This looks like old school, like very old school Bob. Oh no, you know what? This is cobalt steel. Yeah, it was an entire setup just for some cobalt steel. Like, see, I did have it set up here for 3 to 2 to 1. Maybe that is the ratio for the higher tier. I just was confusing with the second tier. We'll see though when we get up to it. Because I know things occasionally change. Oh, that was some squirrely shit that I planned out. Oh, here's a blueprint book that I don't even have labeled. These are always fun. Most of these are probably duplicates, because that's usually how I sort things. I really need to take time and just go through all of these, because a lot of these are duplicates to what we've already seen. And a couple of the blueprint books. Oh, here's some rail. Yeah, see, it was a stacker. Basically, extra trains and things. I know the signals look like shit, because they probably are. Oh, here's that sulfur thing that I built. This thing's amazing. This thing basically just shits out a crap ton of carbon, and also, as a result, it shits out a crap ton of sulfuric wastewater, which is the second part that isn't attached to this. This was a nice engineering marvel. So that's a nice find to find. Yeah, see, this must have been some sort of, I had to move something in the factory, which is never fun when you are off, even by a little bit. Oh, hey, here we go. Yeah, so here's what an unloading station that I used would look like. We probably won't use this specific one. I mean, we might. It technically will work, but it obviously comes with its own issues, such as the inlet areas are over signaled, so there'll be congestion up here more than likely. But we'll take a look at that. We could always redesign this area, quite frankly. But down here is technically it works, because we use double-headed trains, which I know, yeah, some people don't like the double-headed. They prefer single pass-through or one direction instead of omni. We use right-hand drive, which, yes, I know, has its drawbacks in Factorio. Technically, left-hand drive does have its perks, stuff like that. I am going to make a copy of this so I can see, yeah, on the map kind of scale. Yeah, so as you can see, this is only 4 out of the 6. Actually, no, 7. Oh, actually, it's more than that, because we need 6 just for the ore over here in the refining area, and then 1 for coal. and then one for natural gas, one for oil, and then one for thermal water. But because the oil and the natural gas are pretty much right on our PetroChem area, we shouldn't ever have to worry about that. But just in case. But those trains aren't going to be over here. They'll be over those trains will obviously come in for the PetroChem area. So this actually will, or should rather, fit everything. Obviously, I would probably set it way up here though, just so that way we have ample room, barring how far these go north. So I'd probably set them like here per se. Like I'd find where the maximum distance down from this ore patch would be, and then that would determine where this sits. And like, yeah, I could build over the ore, infinite world, infinite ore, but I don't want to. I want to constrain myself a bit, because otherwise I might as well just take a blueprint of a factory I've already completed, plop it down, and call it good. So I want constraints, and one of those constraints is utilizing ore and / building around it. I know some people prefer to play without landfill. They just choose not to use it, and then that makes a unique base, but I like landfill, and I like doing things. Even if I'm doing the same thing over and over again, I really like it in Factorio. But yeah, we'll figure out where this goes. But I'm glad we found that blueprint, which of course is already in my inventory somewhere, but it exists. Up there it is. So we'll use like this blueprint, for instance, to determine where like our upper limit is. So we could say like, oh, here's our upper limit, which, yeah, so we'll say like, oh, there's where we're gonna put the highest level track. Obviously it's gonna have a problem because it's gonna run right over some major ore patches. Or I usually will, I'm okay with setting up the rail so it will eventually go over, and I'll just do a temporary bypass around or whatnot. But what I don't like doing is building like over the natural gas. Obviously you can't help it. Eventually you will hit oil or natural gas, something you physically cannot move, and you can either just choose to do it because, again, infinite world, infinite resources, but I try to avoid it if I can. So like I'll go a little bit higher. Like obviously, yes, I'll build over that bottomonium. So then what I'll do is I'll look, okay, what's the lowest point of that? Now obviously it's a dumb thing to think about that far away. I could just put a T intersection, go up and then over and whatnot. And so we'll figure that out. I'll probably still set it off this bottomonium though. Silicon. So again, let's just start throwing things up into queue. Geode processing. Nanobot things. Cool. We have a little bit. We actually don't have any steel. I'm not going to use my personal steel reserve because that's for machines. Let's go take a look at a few things just to see if everything's functioning properly. It looks like it. Steel is being made, just very, very, very slowly. And we just drove through a blueprint area, so nanobots are going to be doing their thing, even if we turn them off. We do need more iron ore, so... But, like I've kind of said, the only way we're going to solve the iron ore issue is by getting more ore into the refining area. That's going to happen is, yes, we can tap more of this, but that only buys us so much. So we have a few options, a few different options than we've well, not really different options. They're the same options. So another option we can do is get the stereotype going. So we have a fairly large sum of that here, about 500,000, that acts as the inverse of sapphirite and chivolite. It gives us, instead of 2 iron, 1 copper, it gives us 2 copper, 1 iron. Obviously, we're not using copper to the extreme that we are iron, so we're stockpiling the copper, but that's fine. We could use the extra little tidbit of iron this could provide us, so we will consider adding that, but trains is the more long-term solution. And getting trains to more sapphirite, which here's a big one of 12 million, and here's a big 6 million one of chivolite, and we also need the bombonium, so there's a bunch of things we need to get mined. We have mined a bunch of sapphirite over here, but transporting it and setting up a rail from up here is going to be a little bit timely. And plus it's honestly going to be near the, not middle, but probably near the mid-end area. Because I'm guessing Blue Science will probably end up getting built probably right about here on it. So I guess the middle of the bus. And so setting up a permanent rail line there just doesn't make sense. Well, we might set up a temporary one. Literally just a single rail for the train to access and to load and unload. Or we might even just decide to belt it. We'll see. Yeah. Crotinium. Tinium. Crotinium? I thought it used to be called chromium. Words and brain don't mix well at night. Let that be known. Chromtinium is what I thought it used to be called. Like chromium. They might have changed it. Maybe they did update things since I've last played, because I feel like that was not what that used to be called. Anyway, we'll get some things moved over. But yeah, we'll definitely go ahead and get trains. Which, do we have any made? Hey, we have one. We have one single train made, guys. The choo-choos are kind of existing, but not really. Let's go ahead and grab what stone we can. Let's go ahead and grab... I do want to get some of these power poles, which require iron, like real iron. Yeah. We just don't have the ore. We have the refining capability, we just don't have the ore to actually deal with any of it. The problem. We have, like, no iron. The factory is dying. She's breathing her last breaths. I feel like the Lorax right now. You know, in the scenes where they chop all the trees down. In our case, we've mined the last bit of ore. The last bit of iron is flowing through her veins. Well, the factory. One might suggest stopping science temporarily just so we can focus on not using all of the resources we have, but nah. Let's head up over here. Let's go like so, like so, like so. Grab the one train we have, not that it matters. The 5 signals we have, again, not that it matters. And say screw it, we're gonna send all of our steel into rail, just so we have something to work with up here. And, well, we have enough that I think we can get something that resembles an outline of what we want to do. Set up, not that we're actually gonna do anything. Yeah. I'll go ahead and get. Go ahead and get power poles set up like so. Oh, we already hit a rock. We hit a second rock. Hey look, tracks already put down for us. How nice of them. Alright. Let's go. Hey, some free yellow belt splitters. I will take it. Alright. So, if this is where we're putting things, let's go and get a radar down up here. Just so I have line of sight on the map. Right. That works actually really well. So if we take our massive monstrosity of a build, obviously I don't want to build it on the main line like this, because that's going to cause problems, because if trains have to back up for whatever reason, instead of backing up on a auxiliary line, they're going to back up on the main line. So we're going to back up, we'll drop it down a little bit. Also take note, we are using a two lane, well 4 lane total, but two-way highway basically for our rails. Obviously, you can get away with one lane in each direction for quite a while and with quite a lot of trains if you signal correctly. I do not signal correctly, or at least as efficiently as I should. I will have to redo the signal entrances on all these things, but if you do signal your entrances and your rails correctly, you don't need 4 lanes. You can get away with just 2. I do 4 because I don't signal properly, but also because I like the idea that trains going the distance are going to be on the center, and then trains peeling off are going to be on the outside lanes. They don't actually always do that, but that's just my theory, at least. And I guess in a way you could even say that you could even localize it too, and just have the 2 center lanes here be for utility, and then have the outside ones actually be your main lines. And obviously I do have the weird spacing. I have 2 here, 2, and then 1. Again, that's personal preference. That's more of an aesthetic thing than an actual function thing. But yeah, so let's go ahead and kind of plan out a few things. So if I want... So like we do a T. Actually, we didn't even do a T. We do an L. Basically a T junction here in, an L in our rail stations, and then the junction out. So that could go pretty much anywhere. And how we're gonna determine where this goes is basically we're gonna look and say, okay, where is the leftmost limit? About there. And then pretty much just say, okay, well, if that's our leftmost limit, let's jump over about yay much, and I don't know, say something like that. And it's just a blueprint. We can delete it and move it and stuff as we need it. And we'll determine, is this enough space for us to get a exit entrance. Well, we have to build some other stations. This is only about half the blueprint size, but we have room over here to the right. And then this feeds into this monstrosity, which will be about here or so, where the ore will basically come in, live within a limited storage area. We're obviously not going to have infinite storage for ore. That's just absurd. Also, it's just really laggy when you have that much ore being moved at one time. But I do want, like, say 10 million of every ore on hand, or even just like 5 million of every ore on hand, because each warehouse is technically 1 million. Then it can back up into the station, which in and of itself is 8. Or no, each station's only 4, my bad. So, yes, it's overkill. Yes, we're never going to need that much, but I want to, so I will. So yeah, I think the next time I do this mod pack, I'm gonna do it as a mega base. I mean, which is already an absurd thing to think about, because this base size is already huge, and it's gonna get quite large. So it borderline already is a mega base, but a mega base to me is train fed pretty much most things. That being said, this is not train fed most things. The raw ore gets fed in by trains, but otherwise everything else gets moved either by belt. Well, everything right now is by belt. Eventually some things will be by bot, just to save on UPS and stuff, but for the most part, it is not by size. Yes, I guess you could call it a mega base, but by actual delivery of things, it is not. Because a mega base, at least to me, I would consider one a mega base if things are being delivered between the intermediate areas, such as you break up crushing, put it on a train, send it up to tier 2. Tier 2 is located somewhere else. That gets done. It's loaded on a train, gets loaded up to tier 3, gets loaded up to tier 4, and then loaded and sent all the way to a sorting area based off demand and some other things you could have set up. And then, of course, the raw ore gets put on a train and then taken out to where it needs to go, and then that, of course, gets made. I mean, I wouldn't break it down as far to say, okay, well, this is going to have a train for this intermediate, into this intermediate, into this intermediate, but Certain things, yes, would get onto a train, depending on what and where you need them. Like iron plate. Iron plate could go on a train, and then each of these things, each of these builds on the bus could each be their own train place that gets demand. So you could have a science area, or and then each pack. For those of you who haven't seen what a mega base is, definitely go look up some videos of that. I've not really done any mega basing, so I will say it would be interesting to try it. Yeah, so I can already tell you that this is not gonna function how I want it to. Yeah, well, I think I have corner bits that I'll have to look for, give or take. But it is that time, unfortunately. I know it is like 4 minutes short of an hour, but it's close enough. Thanks everybody for watching. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, as it really helps out the channel. Make sure you guys leave a like and or a comment, because those also help out with the whole YouTube algorithm of things. And if you guys have any questions or concerns, you can also leave those down in the comment section below, or any helpful tips for that matter. If you see something I'm doing that you don't understand, just ask. I will try to answer your question. If you see something I'm doing that I'm doing completely wrong, please let me know so that I can improve it, because I would always love to learn new things about this game. Let's see what else. Twitch, we do stream. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We sometimes stream Factorio, but recently I've been playing Hearts of Iron, EU4, Hell at Loose, World of Warships, stuff like that. But sometimes I do stream Factorio. We probably won't stream too much of this world on Twitch until we get much later into it, just because a lot of it right now is just kind of sitting around waiting for things to craft. If you have questions as to what mods we're using, go look at the description. We have most of the list there. Otherwise, head back to episode 1, look at the first 5 minutes or so of that video, and there will be a kind of a walkthrough of all the mods we have. With all that being said, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.